Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Bracket match tomorrow. But let's get straight into it. Clutch Gamers once again going to be banning out the Earth Spirit and the Ursa. Not letting either of those heroes through into the pool in like any of the games that I've cast from them. We will get a little bit more love for the position 4s in terms of the draft this game as Monkey King gets banned out, along with the Neeks Assassin, and Clutch Gamers are also going to grab themselves the Train Protector first pick. So if Mineski want it, they can take the Legion Commander plus the Crystal Maiden. But I feel like Clutch Gamers already have some kind of a strategy in mind if that ends up being the selection. Maybe the Legion Warlock is the go. That seems solid enough. I think even with the Train Protector, that lane can work out pretty nicely. But Mineski just grab super early, kind of cheesy Darkseer combo. All right. I think that this is still susceptible to all kinds of stuff. And actually, Clutch Gamer's going to take the Shadow Fiend away. I was talking about, Mineski. They were led to victory in a 2-1 series yesterday by the Mushi Shadow Fiend. But, all right, it's going to be the Clutch Gamer Shadow Fiend this time around. The nice thing about the Shadow Fiend here is that if they're going to run this stupid... No, it's not stupid. But if they're going to run the Darkseer and the Riki together over in the off lane, then they're not going to be putting a whole lot of pressure on the Shadow Fiend at mid. So he should be able to do all right there. And I feel like they still just have so many different ways that they can deal with this dual lane from Clutch. I am talking about it as if the Riki and the Darkseer have to lane together. That's not the case, of course. They can choose to... If they want to, just have the Riki roaming around. Darkseer can even jungle a little bit early on. So it's not like it's a do or die lane for them. It's not like they have to keep that dual lane together and they have to win the lane. They could poke and prod a little bit at level 1 if they want to, or they have other things that they can do with their time. So not a huge deal if it doesn't necessarily work out by running the Invis Riki around with an Ion Shell. Still... decent combo. You can vacuum people into the smoke screen. Gives you some scouting potential for whatever else you're going to be picking up. If you grab some more combo potential with the Darkseer as well, then the Riki is just going to scout for it. Get a vacuum into a Dream Coil. Probably has to be coming from your mid since the Riki's already your position 4. The Warlock is still there as well. They could go for the Warlock as their position 5. Mineski. Clutch Gamers with the Shadow Fiend more than likely going to be looking for some kind of 5-man oriented strategy. I'm a little bit surprised that Mineski don't choose to ban out the Vengeful Spirit, since it is a hero that pairs very nicely with the Shadow Fiend, but maybe they feel like the Vengeful Spirit is a hero that they can beat in the lane. I feel like if Clutch Gamers grab a Vengeful Spirit and then they had, some other lockdown support, I don't even know if it's that important what that hero is, but something like a Rubik, maybe some kind of lockdown as a ranged support. I think they could quite easily just kill the Mineski off lane and then secure their safe lane pretty nicely. So maybe they have some other kind of plan against the Vengeful Spirit if things go that way. But we'll have to see. The Omni Knight is also still in the pool, which has been popular with these somewhat all-in Shadow Fiend strategies. Mineski's combo with the Darkseer is going to end up being the Riki, but the Disruptor, sorry. But, I mean, now their lineup does nothing against BKBs. Just nothing. Like, absolute nothing. And Clutch Gamers are like, sure. Alright, we're gonna get some physical damage, we're gonna get some tower push. Whether or not Mineski would be ready to fight early on is a little bit of a question mark. They do get some scouting information from the Riki to set up some glimpses, so if they get ahead, now that they've got the Templar Assassin as well, you know, lay down a trap, get a glimpse, all kinds of opportunities there. But it looks like Clutch Gamers, they have no intention of being on the back foot at all. This is a death ball lineup, and I think you just pick a death ball support, right? Just pick the Dazzle or the Witch Doctor or something. Just get yourself some more sustain, remaining. And away you go. Expand. It is a good team fight combo with the Train Protector. Maybe they need a little. They could have needed a little bit more team fight to go along with the lineup right now, since it's pretty much just the Train Protector right now. But there's still the Warlock as well if they want that. I don't think the Warlock is a bad pick here by any stretch of the imagination. Good sustain against the Darkseer, gives them some more team fight if Mineski do try and fight into them. And it gives them even more push sustain. So I think Clutch Gamers have plenty of really good options for whatever this last pick is going to be. Could be the Vengeful Spirit support even, if they really wanted to change direction in terms of what the draft is planning to do. But I think the Vengeful Spirit carry is just A-okay here. Can they shut the Templar Assassin out this game the same way that they did in the previous game? Not really. The mid lane matchup a little bit better, I think, against the Shadow Fiend. They don't really have anyone to steal the Ancients, so this is going to be a much more comfortable Templar Assassin game, but she doesn't have the backing of the Omniite this time around, so Mushi is going to have to be aware of that. And Clutch Gamers, I mean, the Shadow Fiend and the Vengeful Spirit both buy Mantis Style really, really easily, so the refraction charges I don't think are going to be that secure here. Even if you get a BKB. Clutch Gamers have all the time in the world to think about this last support pick, or if they're going to make the Venja support, if they think that there's some kind of game-winning safe lane hero. I could maybe see an argument for like an anti-mage or something this game. Lanes well against the Darkseer, but Mineski have pretty good catch for it, and Clutch Gamers, I like this 5-man strat. I think once they pick the Abaddon, they're very much committed to the 5-man lineup.
10 seconds remaining.
They're just going to grab the Ogre. They got buffs on buffs on buffs on buffs. The Shadow Fiend is going to be hitting buildings insanely hard. Between the Curse of Avernus buff, the Vengeance Aura, the Bloodlust. Everyone's going to be crazy fast as well for the exact same reasons. And I like this Ogre pickup because it can put some pressure on the TA. It is a melee support, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to win their safe lane. I think they're going to have to start the Ogre and the Train Protector down bot just to fend off the Ricky Darkseer at the beginning. But other than that, I think they're sweet. How do Mineski... What do they do here? Do they pick like a Sven? Do they think to themselves, this is a good Warcry game? Maybe that's the answer here. I'm not so convinced. But could be something that they look at. It is a good combo with the Darkseer. They pick a Timber Saw. Alright, I mean, it slices, it dices, it spams to defend your towers. But is it going to come online fast enough? The plan isn't to go aggressive or anything like that. This leaves the Disruptor kind of floating in a weird way, but maybe he'll be able to run lots of pulls and get lots of levels early on, and he'll be more team fight ready than Clutch Gamers are expecting. The Timber Saw doesn't need help, and the Darkseer doesn't really need much help, and the TA doesn't really need much help either. So maybe the TA needs a little bit of help if the Ogre turns up in her lane, but I think if the Ricky and the Darkseer are pressuring the safe lane, then the Ogre is going to be spending his time there instead. So alright, maybe we're going to have a pretty farmed Disruptor here.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know if the Timber Saw, the whole high armor thing, is necessarily going to work out quite the way that they're hoping. And also, just another hero that gets completely countered by BKB. I really don't know what the Mineski lineup does once Clutch Gamers buy BKBs. I guess they have to try and fight him before that happens. They got to take the fights at the tier 1 towers. They get their mech, they run in, they vacuum people into a smoke screen, they get some kills. Whoever takes the Roche, I think, is going to be extremely important this game. Both teams do have pretty decent Roshan potential, so We'll see how it works out. Gamers, multiple TPs making their way out for this game 2 against Mineski here in the Epicenter Moscow SEA qualifiers. Clutch Gamers won game 1 in very convincing fashion, and let's see if they can take a fast game 2 here, or if Mineski will be able to battle it back. In terms of introductions, we've got Armel on the Shadow Fiend. Boombax is going to be your Ogre. We've got Gabby on Vengeful Spirit. Rappy is your Abaddon. And finally, Fly Solo is the Train Protector. Meanwhile, for Mineski, we've got Raging Potato on Timbersaw. We've got Mushi on the Templar Assassin once again, looking for his redemption game here. I mean, he played pretty well last game. It was just a good strat from CG. We've got Ninja Boogie or NB on the Disruptor, and Wen finally is going to be your Darkseer. And actually, I forgot the Invis guy lurking around. It's Adam, or 343, well, formerly known as 343, on the Riki Maru. And this is just the new Abaddon strat, evidently. You buy boots, you steal the wave, you kind of get your level 2 from it. I saw Ohio doing this as well in Fnatic series earlier, so it looks like this is just the play now for offlane Abaddon in Southeast Asia. Pretty interesting progression. Riki gonna maybe try and steal the bounty rune. Nope, not willing to go for it. There's an Ogre here with an Orb of Venom and a Sentry Ward, so if that they did have a mysteriously disappearing bounty, I think he would be pretty dead. Does go in for a little bit of harassment on the Shadow Fiend and forces him to miss his block. That's actually pretty tough. Mushi's going to get the block advantage. Actually, they've overblocked. They've overblocked. Overblock. Oh no. So now it's going to just swing right back the other way. And Shadow Fiend's still getting a deny anyway. Did he get the range creep deny? Okay, no, he does not. So 3 CS for Mushi, but I mean, Ogre can just come and tank this under the tower. Actually, Boomback's going to try and tank it outside of tower range to reset the aggro in a position where they want it. And they're actually going to get it. They drag it back out. It's on the Radiant Hill now. And this is not how Mineski were hoping that this was going to play out. Look at all the space that Boombax has now just to zone out Mushi, and that's going to force Ninja Boogie to come back over to do a little bit more zoning. But Shadow Fiend already has 4 CS. Mushi going to get forced back by the Orb of Venom and the Ignite. Ninja Boogie gets cheeky denies in there as well for good measure, chewing through his entire mana pool here. But yeah, that overblock got the Shadow Fiend kind of right back into the lane, even though he missed the initial one. So he's gonna have to salve or train himself up soon. The Dire have also opted to put down an Observer Ward over here to give them non-stop vision on the high ground, make it a little bit easier for TA once nighttime falls. With the Sideblade spill, Gabby is going to take some pressure down bottom, but he's actually manning up somewhat on the Darkseer. There's no Ion Shell. In fact, Fly Solo being extremely patient back here behind the tier 1 tower will be able to get the Courier Snipe. Could at least deliver some items to Mushi. Alright, he at least got his boots. So they got it on the way back. Abaddon refusing to lane against the Timbersaw is just non-stop stealing waves. Ninja Boogie does find himself a double damage here. Shadow Fiend needing a little bit of salve help, but still out CSing the Templar Assassin so far. Adam doing a bit of scouting, does manage to steal the bounty rune as Fly Solo just meandering his way back down towards the bottom. Alright, looks like the Timbersaw is going to have a pretty decent game here. We'll see. This was the last pick. I feel like the Timber is really going to have to put in a lot of work to justify himself with this game. Get the levels up early. Oh, Mushi. Alright, does manage to run in here and just get a random meld onto the Shadow Fiend. A little bit interesting to see that he skilled that up here, but I guess it is mostly just to dodge the Ignite from the Ogre, which is a smart little play that we do see a decent amount. Adam and Wen still going blow for blow down here at bottom. Vengeful Spirit is suffering a little bit on the CS chart. It's just because of this non-stop pressure. So that's working out, but the Vengeful Spirit really doesn't care. The pillar in the middle of this lineup is the Shadow Fiend. That's the focal point, and so long as Armel is finding farm, I think Clutch Gamers are pretty happy with the situation overall. Fly Solo getting a couple more levels up now. Hasn't decided on a second skill point, as Mushi is able to drive the Shadow Fiend out of lane. That single point, that single auto attack worth of damage costs him all of his refraction charges. He takes a raise to the face, and he'll eat a couple of auto attacks. I don't know if that was worth it, but Mushi really feeling like he has to play aggressively here. Put the pressure on the SF, maybe keep the Ogre away from the other lanes, since Boombax is right now looking to run some side pulls up here on top. Unfortunately for Rappy, he can't really tank the creep wave away from the Timbersaw, so he'll be able to run in here and he'll be able to interrupt the pull and probably get this kill on the Ogre. Ogre's pretty tanky, but there is a Whirling Death, and that's going to be First Blood, Raging Potato, Arcane Boots at a very fast pace. Not the biggest deal to lose the Ogre, but much better start for Mineski here in Game 2 than they got off to in Game 1. Just very much focusing on winning the lanes. Winning lanes, it seems like. Sunblade builds. Adam gonna jump in here out of nowhere, and looks like Shadowfiend might be dead. Does have a couple of bottle tips as he gets into the trees, and Mushi needing to be careful. There is an ignite, but he manages to dodge it with the melt. Turning around now, misses the hit up the hill, in fact. So Ogre gonna be A-okay, but what? Dire Courier got sniped again? Fly solo, you madman? You're not playing Bounty Hunter, dude. Can you chill out a little bit? Alright, well. Did Wen get his items this time? Yeah, we got a Soul Ring at the very least. But Tree putting in some good work. Is skilling up the living armor as a priority here. They get the glimpse back onto Rappy, but looks like he's still okay. Needs to be cautious of the Whirling Death, but he's got some stick charges, got the living armor, he's got the shield off cooldown. Should be A-okay. Adam, not to be outclassed, is gonna put Observer Ward down in between the tier 1 and tier 2 towers, but the Courier is off on a little journey to join the supports. So is he going to be able to get it? He's doing the trigonometry, he's planning the intercept route, and it's over the tree line, so he can't get it. Unfortunate for him. However, the Shadowfiend's looking pretty juicy. Maybe he can get him instead. Alright, Shadowfiend 32 CS, so the pressure from the Disruptor not really showing up that much. Looks gonna get forced out here on the mid lane, which is still playing things very far up. He does have a triple, it looks like, Ancient Stack to fall back on as well, so the acceleration is gonna keep moving. CG are building up a bit of a net worth lead. This is just off of the Courier snipes. I think Fly Solo has single-handedly given his team this advantage. Because if you look at the CS, it's pretty close across the board. Bunch of heroes close to 40, a couple of heroes around 30. All the supports basically have nothing, so the Treant Protector just being a much more effective roamer than the Riki so far. Adam will be able to blink over onto Boombax, but they've also got the living armor. He's healing up. He's still got 4 stacks. Adam wants to finish this kill. The haste is gonna, the surge is gonna wear off, and Ogre's too dumb, too big, too tanky, and he'll live. Alright, maybe the Ion Shell is enough to grab this kill. Adam coming around the corner, Fly Solo maybe looking a little bit vulnerable, but Clutch Gamers still able to hang on to everything. What is the Abaddon going for? Looks like maybe just a Vlad's as the selection. Timsaw, natural item progression for him. Abaddon does pop the ultimate, just healing up a little bit off that Whirling Death, but Mushi's still pressuring mid. Living armor is helping to keep this tower alive, so the chip isn't really doing that much.
Middle tower is under attack.
Shadowfiend did opt for the bottle this game. We have seen people completely bypass bottle on SF just in favor of spamming a few more clarities to get their initial farm, but
top tower is under attack.
Armel not one of those players. Alright, well, Dire Courier is back up again. Looks like this time around it will successfully complete its journey to the mid lane. That was the treads for Mushi, and the it was the Soul Ring to go as well. Raging Potato. Ninja Boogie gonna be forced to TP out here. Just makes it in time. Ogre coming in with the 50-queued Fire Blast ready to go, but doesn't get it. And the nice thing about the Timbersaw is that he is probably going to take this tower. Well, normally he would take this tower eventually. I'm not sure if that still holds true with the living armor. Or it probably still holds true, but just going to take him a while. I suppose. Ooh, Boombax. Nice little moves. Securing all CS under the tower. CS PogChamp. Adam still chilling bot. Finding some really nice levels. Doing pretty well. 8 minutes in, and network gap has started to close a little bit as Mineski just continue farming across the map. They got good vision around the place as well. Ninja Boogie gonna come in here and go for a D-ward and does find it on a half duration observer. Gabby, a little bit of taunting going on, does get silenced. The back can drag him back in. He gets the stun onto the Ricky. He's doing big damage, and these tower shots are dropping him very, very low. Same story for the Darkseer. That wave of terror actually giving him a very hard time. Adam just barely surviving. Does TP back. Amel. Alright, they're gonna smoke him and look for this tier 1 tower, it looks like. Was this spotted?
Is under attack.
It looks like they may have smoked just outside of the vision range. Timbersaw's not actually looking that healthy right now. Some max level raises waiting for him. Raging Potato. Armel's waiting. First raise, running forward. Couple of auto attacks. Darkseer's dead on the bottom side of the map as well, and Clutch Gamers finding 2 easy pickoffs. This should be the tier 1 tower as well. What happened to Darkseer? It's like just stuck around and got stunned and died. There was a leech seed and maybe a bash from the Treant Protector, but that is not good for me. Did we get flashed to the Abaddon maybe? Probably not. I guess we'll take it. Yep, there you go. Armel picks it up. 400 gold or so away from his Dragonlance. Adam still scouting around, but the clock is ticking for this Ricky. Once Clutch Gamers start 5-manning, the Ricky pick is not going to do very much. You know, the Disruptor when he's behind is not too impressive either. Do have level 5 on Ninja Boogie, so again, as I was anticipating, gonna get some decent levels. Raging Potato, tank it in the raises. There is third raise, long range, ready to go, and Boombacks interrupts the Timber Chain. Beautifully played. Raging Potato, I feel like I jinxed him. He said, well, not a jinx, but kind of cursed him a little bit. Said that he had to perform this game after being the last pick, but not working out that way. They're trying to pressure Gabby, but he's already forced the Darkseer away. Adam burning him down a little bit, but still reasonably tanky. Runs in now. Is he going to get stunned up? They get the silence down. They get the glimpse back into the stack storm as well. Looking like no escape for the Vengeful Spirit as a big rotation from Mineski. Does actually connect, but I think all that Gabby's thinking is space for my Shadow Fiend. Mushi, has he cleared out his ancient stack? Looks like he has. Is it the Blink Dagger coming over? It is. Armel spots it, so not a big deal. But obviously still very nice to have. The Living Armor healing up bottom somewhat. So none of these Mineski kills have actually segued into a push at all. And that lack of map control is definitely going to sting. As CG look to keep on pressing forward. Treant Protector already has level 7, so he's going to completely max out the Living Armor. Oh my god. This is great though, because it means that they can't split push them. Like, the problem that you might run into with this Clutch Gamers lineup is that you don't have very much catch. So the enemy team, while you're 5-manning, could be both farming and split pushing you to death. But with the Treant Protector, it just can't happen. They can't trade because their heroes don't push buildings that well. The Timbersaw push is very much a war of attrition, and while he has made some progress on this tier 1 tower, Clutch Gamers are going to take this tier 1 bot very fast. There is going to be a whole glyph to work through, or one glyph now, and then if they want to push onto the tier 2, there will be the reset. But Raging Potato actually just going to give up on that top push and make his way down bottom to keep on spamming to defend. Mushi jumping across aggressively, looking for the Shadow Fiend kill, who does turn around, snipes the raise. Now he's got the Living Armor. Mushi's doing 0 damage, and the shield comes in. Mushi still wants this kill, but I think this is a step too far. He won't be able to get the blink off either. Refraction is still on cooldown. 2 seconds to go. He pops a trap at the raise, drops him down. Armel with the double kill. The team there setting him up. They do end up losing 2 on the bottom lane. Looks like getting a glimpse back onto the Venge and also losing the Ogre, but the Shadow Fiend stands proud. Ricky gonna try and draw the aggro off here, but I don't think Rappy and Armel gonna take no for an answer on taking this tower, and that is the second tower last hit for the Shadow Fiend. It's normally the Templar Assassin that we're talking about with this crazy net worth lead and snowballing the game, but the Shadow Fiend is gonna be just as capable. Nice swap to interrupt the Timber Chain, and Raging Potato finds himself under the tower with not enough reactive armor stacks to live, and he'll be brought down. And that's what, death number 3 for Raging Potato. I thought it was maybe death number 4, but no, he died twice top, dies once bot. Adam, gonna try and set something up. Do they have the mech on the dark sphere? Still no. 900 gold away from the recipe. Mushi gonna try and defend bottom right now. They do have Adam scouting the situation, but needs to be careful of the dust. Vengeful Spirit has her Dragon Lance up now, but yep, the scary thing is that the Treant Protector's here. He's got the overgrowth ready. Can he bail out his carry? That's the question. He somehow manages to run through the kinetic field after it runs out. Templar Assassin doesn't have any defensive abilities to be able to keep her alive. She has been dusted up, but it looks like Raging Potato should be able to kill off that ogre. A bad chasing forward. They get the swap back into the stun. Armel arrives on the scene, and they once again burst down the Timber Saw. Top lane is getting pressured by the Darkseer, but his push pales in comparison to that of CG, and with all of their heroes down here, of Vlad, Abaddon, looks like they should be able to maybe even push this through onto the tier 2. Alright, they do lose their tier 1, but mid probably going to get healed up by the living armor. Push continues, Lift getting used early, Ninja Boogie still in a static storm for a little bit. Armel faking out the ultimate. Mushi will find himself a regen, but with no Deso, can't threaten the Roshan or anything like that. And he's just going to go chill on the other side of the map. Not going to put up any kind of a fight in defending the tier 2. Armel's already grabbed himself a Hurricane Pike. Excellent choice against the Static Storm, the Chakram, and the Smoke Screen. So not only helping himself, but maybe helping his teammates. And looks like Vengeful Spirit is going for the same kind of item setup here. Adam, I mean, he bought some Tranquils, but he's got Phase geared up. He's putting down some deep boards. Spots Gabby over here. Action on the mid lane. Glimpse back onto the Abaddon. Treant Protector still running forward, but needs to be somewhat careful. The big damage dealers are not in the neighborhood. But if he can just hit some Ancients and Vengeful Spirit, still farming over here on the leftmost side of the Radiant jungle. Adam is so insistent on putting these wards down. I guess he's just going for courier snipes. Is he gonna get it this time? Come on, Adam. You're behind a courier snipe here, buddy. Oh, couldn't get the third hit. And then reveals his position as well. Meanwhile, CG just heading into the Roshan. They've got the Vlads. They've got the Medallion. Don't have the Solar Crest just yet. A little bit of Chakram damage coming in. They do have the mech here on the Darkseer. Be careful not to get bursted down, and they get back into the wall. Static Storm over the top. They lose both of the supports, but everybody else is still alive. Armel dropping out the raise, is looking to auto-attack down. Ren will do it. And now losing some life, but should still be healed up by the Abaddon. Has the races. Abaddon now helping him out. The shield is off cooldown. Mushi forced back the swap onto Ninja Boogie. Can they burst Gabby? He's fairly tanky. And now Adam finally arriving to this fight. Drops the smoke screen down again. They will buy back on the Disruptor. But the Radiant support's respawning soon. Abaddon does not have his ultimate. Gets glimpsed back, but still has a little bit of help. Another Treant Protector respawning. Will be able to living armor him. As Gabby picks up the double kill, taking down Ninja Boogie for the second time. And CG heads straight into the Roshan pit once again. Saw, even with the Hood of Defiance, not enough to keep him alive through that fight. They didn't manage to catch the Shadow Fiend or the Vengeful Spirit in the vacuum. I think it was just the 3 melee heroes. So Abaddon survived with his ultimate, and the 2 supports died. But alright, we're gonna have a quick pause. Gabby has DC'd. We're up to an 8k net worth lead. Not quite the lead that they had after the Roshan take in the previous game. And this game is playing out very similar to the previous game. We don't have the crazy farmed Slardar or anything like that, but we got some nice courier snipes from Fly Solo. And then they play patient in the early game. They get their farm up. They get the 5-man items that they want. And then they just go take the Rosh and keep on going. So, alright. I guess the 5-man continues. Shadow Fiend just going to be going for an AC. I'm a little bit surprised not to see BKBs coming in. Mushi, alright, blinks away. TA Trap slowing him down. Vengeful Spirit would love to get the swap off, but not going to happen. And Fly Solo, a little bit of a jig as they come in and just absolutely melt this tier 2. They get the swap out, but Mushi blinks immediately. Can he get overgrowth? Meds to dodge it. Meld's there. They get the vacuum back. It's on to 5, but unfortunately, there's just no follow-up. CG pushed straight past the tier 2 tower. Now they'll bring it down. They've got a little bit of chalk room spam to try and hold this out, but there's nobody on Mineski split pushing or anything, so it isn't a waste of time at all for CG to be here as 5 themselves. They really need Mushi to be off threatening this bottom tier 1 tower or something, but Armel's just hitting the tier 3. There isn't a glyph for another minute or so. Shadow Fiend, undeterred. They need to be careful about the glimpses. They're going to play as a team. There to get the vac back. He manages to force himself a little bit further out, and it's only the Abaddon caught. And he's just going to relish in the Static Storm, heal himself back up to full. Raging Potato makes it to the high ground, but he still ends up dropping. 40 seconds dead for him. Shadow Fiend healing up with the Vlads. Abaddon drops a little bit, but they've got the stun on the Mushi, and they've got the burst damage. No way to save him. Even with the smoke screen drop down, Armel still just right-clicking through. And now the tier 3 about to drop. Position 1 and position 2 both dead. Mushi unwilling to use the back. Look at that, will just mean that they sacrifice a full lane Brax. Ninja Boogie trying to figure out what he can do, but I mean, no Static Storm means no damage. Gabby just gonna slide himself forward, picks up Mega Kill Streak, and Mineski absolutely falling apart at the seams. GG's called. 19-minute GG. Clutch Gamers will do it. They're going to advance into the next round. They'll be matching up against TNC later on in the competition. And what a convincing performance. It's a patch where people are picking, you know, they're buying Midases and they're picking slightly grittier lineups, but Clutch Gamers, they're making the 5-man Doto work. We've seen that from a couple of different teams here in these SEA qualifiers. So goes to show that, you know,